What if we can make biology almost more like computer science, where you can run an experiment and the next day you know the results?
Professor Cong pioneered the use of CRISPR gene editing in human cells, proving this revolutionary tool could work in living systems. But his next breakthrough might be even bigger.
Instead of having one me working in my lab, wouldn't it be nice? We can have 200 AI scientists in your team that only cost you, hopefully, just GPU compute.
But getting there meant abandoning most things he used to work on.
I really moved completely from, doing experiments in the lab with my hands to typing on the keyboard. Sometimes it's really, I learned it from my own mistakes the hard way.
The lesson that changed his approach to innovation forever.
Failure is great, but most of the time, it's great if you fail fast. If this thing takes you less than 3 minutes, and I think it's interesting, do it right now. Don't wait.
Now, he's building something that could accelerate every medical breakthrough by decades.
What if I can model the whole cell or genome or disease purely in computational way? That makes the whole process almost eventually as quick as writing a code. We have already built a large community with over 20,000 people. Everybody come together, build a community, and then to talk about how to really improve AI for science.
The race to cure cancer, Alzheimer's, and aging itself just got exponentially faster. Today, my guest is Cong, an assistant professor at Stanford University School of Medicine. Professor Cong was one of the co-inventors who proved CRISPR gene editing technology could work in humans. After gaining industry experience as VP at Moderna during the pandemic, he returned to Stanford, where he's developing AI agents that can design experiments, analyze results, and even replicate the capabilities of world-class researchers. He's now building something even more ambitious, AI systems that can automate scientific discovery itself. He's also built a 20,000-plus member global community that's becoming the epicenter of AI-driven scientific breakthroughs. In Part 1, Professor Cong revealed the untold story behind CRISPR's breakthrough. In Part 2, we cover his remarkable journey from hands-on CRISPR research to leading the AI for science revolution. We dive into his 3-level framework for AI in scientific discovery, from AI co-pilots to autonomous AI scientists to complete virtual research environments. Professor Cong shares his vision for multimodal biological models that can understand DNA, RNA, proteins, and clinical data simultaneously. We explore why he left pure research to gain industry experience at Moderna, his work building specialized AI agents like CRISPR-GPT and StemCell-GPT, and how he's created one of the largest scientific AI communities in the world. Let us get started. I would love to also dive into your life after the CRISPR. So you did this great work of CRISPR. In 2022, you started to take a job of VP of Moderna, started doing more industry experiences. Tell us more.
Yeah, I think maybe I'll share two, stage of my sort of career after the CRISPR moment, we can call it. So, in many ways, right? Like we're talking about, CRISPR is a Caesar, but what actually are the targets? For example, yes, I can fix many things, but what are the genes that can help me to cure cancer, cure diabetes, cure Alzheimer's, right? So that's why I moved into computational AI, because I think we needed ability to really scale the or understanding of the data and biology in order for us to identify, okay, this is the way you can edit the genome to cure disease and to prevent aging, right? So
you first invented the Caesar, and now you are looking for, you are now starting to solve the search problem.
Yeah, search problem. So I think, that's why I worked with Aviv Regav, who, basically was my PhD advisor, and she was a computer biologist. And I really moved completely from, doing experiments in the lab with my hands to typing on the keyboard to, try to write codes and to do, computational biology and machine learning.
So you started connecting with your childhood dream of computer design now.
Yeah, but which is, not necessarily the exact thing as programming a game, but and then with Aviv, I really started to really appreciate the power of computation. The iteration just faster, right? You write a program the same day or at most the next day, you will know the results of computation, of course. So the whole cycle of feedback iteration is way faster in computational biology. So it has been really fun And that's why, I later started to focus more on AI for biomedicine, AI for science. And basically, that's how I, after working at the Viv, when I moved to Stanford here in the Silicon Valley, San Francisco, I really started to build a group where we do experiments on one hand and then do computation AI on the other hand. And then, so that's one thing. And then the two, why I worked, I spent some time with Moderna is because, when during the pandemic, there were a lot of, restrictions. And of course, I really respect what, mRNA technology was doing. But then I think the most motivation is not about particularly like mRNA or something. It's really about getting to understand the industrial scale of things. Because even my own advisor, Aviv, before I started a kind of a leave, a sabbatical at Moderna, Aviv first actually moved from MIT to become the head of preclinical research at Roche Genentech. So that inspired me to think about, if you wanted to understand what actually it takes to make a drug and to be able to scale a technology from lab to business to really a life-saving medicine, I think I need to get more exposure to industry.
You have been really passionate about how to turn some idea or scientific ideas into something that is really practical and can be scaled, that it be used in the industry. And you also briefly mentioned about this AI for science initiative that you have been focusing in the past decade. Can you tell us a little bit about, with us, about what does it mean by AI for science?
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, basically, as you mentioned, one thing that I've become more passionate about in the past couple of years has been essentially trying to accelerate the whole process of discovery. What if we can say, make biology almost more like computer science, where you can run an experiment and the next day you know the results, right? Or something like that. So I think AI presents probably the most reasonable opportunity for us to accelerate science, because, like you said, AI can write can write an email for us, can write a paper, can write a poem, but also can generate image, can generate a movie. So I think AI really accelerates a lot of the process right now in text, in image. So what we think are going to be most helpful for us, right, as a scientist, is if AI not just help me write an email, but actually help me to be more efficient, more amazing at doing science. By applying the AI technology and the concept, what you just mentioned, scale or scaling law, we can also basically achieve three things in science. Number one, we can have AI essentially on first level be a co-pilot or be a partner for all the scientists, where if you need to find information to design experiment, to run something, or to run data analysis, AI will help you do that. And the second level is called AI scientist, where basically I can replicate myself. I can build an AI that basically is at least as good as myself. Or Feng Zhang can replicate a scientist as good as Feng Zhang, or Jennifer Doudna and George. So that would be fun. So basically, instead of having, say, one, me working in my lab, would it be nice, or maybe not necessarily just me, but maybe all my students, we can have a lot of the students, and all you need is not to recruit 200 people to your team. You just need 200 AI scientists in your team that only cost you, hopefully, just GPU compute. And then you can have all of them work together to not just, so it's not just AI helping one person, but it's AI replicating the capacity of scientists, so that you can have very quickly a team of people working on CRISPR, working on Alzheimer's, aging, stem cells, right? But this is the second level. And the last level, I think, is what we can call virtual research, or we can call, basically like you said, you can generate a video that's completely by AI. You don't need to actually shot in a camera, right? So what if eventually, I think the last level of AI for science is like, what if you can say, I can model the whole, a cell or a genome or a disease purely in computational way. So then when I do research, it's not even just I have a team of AI scientists, but also like I just essentially simulate, a lot of the disease in silico, right? And that really becomes exciting to me because that makes the whole process almost eventually as quick as writing a code or testing a code. Like you can build an app.
There's actually a lot of similarity between the knowledge discovery process in biology, but also a lot of the things that are happening in other AI industry.
Right.
So the pattern that you put is such a beautiful summary of the 3 stages of AI evolution. You put in the terminology with just biology, but I also observe these patterns for all the industries. And it's basically the kind of evolution of AI for automating the knowledge discovery process and also applicable for many knowledge workers. If you are managers, if you are coders, it also works very similarly. And these 3 phrases marks the different levels of agency.
Yeah, it's almost like the L 1, 2, 3, 4 of auto driving, right?
Exactly. The lowest one has less agency, so needs more human involvement. The highest level is completely the agency, so it's just discovery knowledge automatically by itself.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that is a very cool mission for you to have AI to enable the science or the scientific knowledge discovery processes.
Right.
Yeah, can you walk through us some of the exciting projects you did in that direction?
Yes. So specifically, we have, in the past year, we have released, I think, 3 different set of progress that I think can all help us to get to this. Maybe we can call it, level 1, 2, 3 of AI for science. So the 3 things, to give you a quick overview, is 1, models, right? We've been building large RNA models called, for example, one of the model we are leading to build is RNA genesis, which is basically one of the most capable RNA model that can model different type of RNA. Give an example, like for example, if you wanted to design a small RNA drug, mRNA drug, you can use our model to give you a quick AI-driven design that hopefully will work very well. So we can call it's almost like the same thing. Like you have ChatGPT or cloud, right, for language generation. We also need models for biological generation or generative AI in biology. So the first thing we've been building is these models. We call foundation models in biology. And because there are a lot of people already working on proteins and DNA, so we have more focus on RNA, but I think eventually there will be a suite of models. And that's number 1, models. Second is called agents. That is the next sort of component, right? When models can give you some simple output, but like if you want to do coding or web browsing, you need an agent that is driven by cloud or GPT to do the task. So I think in biology, like you were saying, all the agents are going to be more capable to complete human task or help human with completeness. So the first agent we built is called CRISPR-GPT, which is a specialized agent that can automate design, execution, and analysis of gene editing experiment, CRISPR gene editing experiment.
Right.
And so that's number 1. And we are now building also StemCell-GPT for stem cells.
Right.
And also like an aging agent for aging study. And then we'll have hopefully many more, eventually maybe an ecosystem for that. So that's second, agent. And the last thing I quickly want to mention, we're also building benchmarks and safety, sort of guardrails that are part of the requirement for AI for science, right? So when you think about how do I really know the AI scientist is actually working? So we need benchmarks, data sets. So we have been releasing just actually this week, Genome Bench, which is a large benchmark for genomics sort of biology research. And basically the idea is that we can release the benchmark and we can see how different models, different agents are performing on the benchmark and have everybody improve. So the Genome Bench is one of the things. We're also going to release Stem Cell Bench, a lot of other bench. So the final part of our work is establishing AI for science benchmarks, and
That's
also be able to also help people to understand the performance as well the safety of these different things. So that's the three things we're doing.
Those things for people who are familiar with like AI research, actually are the exact same terminology I described for AI research. Like foundation models, you need an agent and you need a benchmark.
Yes.
And I also realized that a lot of your model names had GPT inside, CRISPR-GPT, StemCell-GPT.
Right.
It's not a coincidence. And for our audiences, like, they may not have enough background to connect, what is the relationship of the models to generate DNA or the RNA with the model that generate the email. So what's the relationship between them? In fact, that you put in early ways that they're all sequence. And a lot of the AI, what we call the large language models, is basically a very powerful sequence processing machine.
Right.
And we just happen to apply this to our natural language sequence first. That is a pretty complicated sequence because the token size is big.
Right.
But our DNA and RNA is also a sequence. In some sense, it's even simpler than the human language because there's like certain pattern. There's not that many code. Code book is relatively smaller from that. So a lot of ideas can be shared among the two.
Exactly.
What would be your take? What are the areas that you're most excited about to push about like the research in the biology side?
I think the most exciting to me are basically focus on the three things we were just talking about. On the model side, I think is multimodality. So instead of just say, there's a model for generating a protein or CRISPR RNA, can we have a sort of multimodal? It's almost like why there are what we call vision language models or these multimodality language models where you can take an image, understand image, but also give you a text description. So they understand both language and also vision, images and videos.
Right, yeah.
I think in biology we also need that. Understanding, for example, the DNA, RNA, protein sequences, and understanding all the, for example, the biology, physiology, or clinical data, right, in patients. So I think this multimodality is super exciting to us, and we're doing some of the work. And,
I want to perfect just make sure my understanding is correct and also help our audience to understand on this. When you mentioned about multimodality, you essentially are referring the data sources or sequence from that has different nature.
Yeah, sometimes not even sequence. Also, like anything that can tokenize, like you said, images, maybe electronic recordings or heart, or heart, sort of, we can call like cardio sort of measurements through like, different type of, device, even like, or personal health data, like in the form of like your, brainwave data, your like, Apple Health data. So a lot of these personal health or imaging data, X-ray, all the stuff, or even sometimes the, various forms of, molecular data is all gonna be capable being connected through this multimodal.
You actually mentioned such an interesting point because previously there was many data in biology. There's DNA data, which is an independent research area.
Right.
There's protein data, and there's independent
now
research.
It's all connected. Yeah.
It's all connected. And there's clinical trial data, or there's even nowadays the medical note-taking systems.
Yeah, there are a lot of things we can connect.
They are independent before.
Yeah. And now we can merge them.
You want to merge them.
Yes.
And I also realized you recently published a paper that even like you can infer you're basically doing a lot of analysis of these clinical data, even like discussion from the medical forum.
Yes.
Is that aligned with this?
Yeah, and this is, exactly. I think, but that's more on the agent side. We're like, maybe very quickly going through the other two areas. I'm super excited about. One is like, we're trying to build ecosystems for agents where you can have, hundreds of tools and databases in almost like a operating system for AI for science or AI for biomedical agents, right? Essentially, you build an operating system like iOS or Mac OS or Windows, and then you can allow these agents to explore different type of data. And this is, I think, going to be what we can call the agent, moment for biomedicine, where like you can now have the agent, explore the biomedical database, and then maybe learn from by themselves. Also, like we can call autonomous evolving agent. So I think this is the second part. And the last part, like you said, why we are getting some really interesting work done in the benchmarks and like extracting information from online discussion is that we think once you have a lot of the good models and agents, you need really, really scientific benchmark to help everybody contribute and evaluate. And this is where we think we need a community together. So that's why we're, for the benchmark and, and the safety side of things, we're engaging not just a small amount of scientists. We have already built a large community with, over like 20,000 people on the Slack group, where we wanted to have everybody come together, build a community, and then to talk about what do you want to see in a benchmark, how do you contribute to the data, and how do you really improve AI for science. So that's kind of the three things that I think super exciting.
Those are very, very cool direction to push forward. So what I hear you say is that in this 3 area layout, each side you actually have one area that is most excited about.
Yes.
For the model layer, you're very excited about this multimodal capability, which is merging the data from different sources.
Yes.
Connect those together. In the agent side, you want to create this platform so that other people can build more useful agents and to inject the knowledge into the platform. And also the last part in the benchmark side, you realize that it actually more and more critical to ensure that we're moving in the right direction, which needs more sophisticated evaluation.
Yes.
Requires the benchmark. And you also mentioned about the community, because that's also a thing in like that even in the non-biology AI side, people are talking that a lot. By the way, like everything talk about sounds music to me, because that's also exactly what AI research is pushing forward in the normal AI field. And specifically, I want to dive into the benchmark side. You mentioned about you build this AI for science community, which already have 20,000 members into that. Is incredible. Can you walk through us, like, why did you do that, and how does that relate to other efforts, like the benchmark efforts and other efforts you have?
Yeah, I think this really connects to, like you said, we need better ways in, at least for AI for science. I think the data and the benchmark are limitation, because like a lot of public information is more about like, oh, can you be smart at exams like GRE or all these exams or but exam taking is not scientific discovery. Scientific discovery is about learning new stuff. Discovering new ideas never happened before. So it's very hard for one lab to, or even a small group, to be able to cover the exciting frontiers of science.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you actually need something really challenging that's not just pattern matching what's already on the internet. Sometimes these are needs to come from private data, private domain. So that's why we believe that we need a bigger community. And I just want to mention that this is not a personal effort. It's really led by, for example, Professor like Mengdi Wang, even like Yang LeQuinn, George Church, Feng Zhang. A lot of people that I know are all coming together. So this is a big effort by many leaders, and I'm really just one part of it. The idea is that it needs to come from scientists doing the science, because it's not one group has all the expertise.
Exactly.
So we needed to have a global network of people. So we are building this community that come together to do 3 things. 1, we can pool our data expertise together to build really good benchmarks. And 2, we're organizing a conference. The first one will be October this year. Actually at Princeton, tentatively, where we can bring people together to talk about where we are in AI for science. How can we make AI more intelligent, have higher reasoning capacity, and what are the things we need to do, like benchmarks, evaluations. So I think the second is conference. And the last thing is, I think with all these community together, we can also essentially build some consensus on how we can move forward. It can be, we hope that, we can come from these community and conferences, some cool ideas that maybe not necessarily just, in the form of research. Can be, I don't know, maybe a new company, new company spin-off from the discussions. It can be a new collaborative, scientific reasoning model that really is a global collaboration and make everyone do science better. I think there are many possibilities, like you said in the beginning. We'll bring a lot of cool people together. You can have magic happen. So that's what we hope. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I don't know what will happen, but we hope that this community can, really be, a centerpiece of what can come for AI for science.
Exactly. I think that many people have been talking about when we have the AI, how to ensure that we human as a species still is safe. If we responsibly develop this new technology, I think it's as powerful as a nuclear weapon. And how do we make sure that it is developing in a responsible way? I think the only way is cooperation, and like you mentioned, international corporations with scientists from all over the places, and all contributing on these ideas. And in that way, we will collectively know what is good and what is bad.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have done a lot of amazing works in CRISPR and AI for science and building community. How do you balance all this work and still live the healthy life?
Well, I think, two thoughts. Of course, one, sometimes it is very hard to have work-life balance, right, in academia, which is part of the reason why sometimes it's nice to take a break, at a company for some time. I do think, the number one thing I want to share is definitely like, one, this is not necessarily happening at the same time. Like, for example, I did CRISPR as a student and then did computational biology as a postdoc. And now, of course, in my lab, we did more of the AI for science, AI for biomedical stuff. I think it does, take time. So we think a lot of the work are connecting. And also, for example, the reason we started AI agents with gene editing was because my earlier work and the accumulated knowledge and know-how, right, from gene editing and stem cell research that helped me to build the AI agents for CRISPR and stem cell. So I think the nice thing is, even though it seemed to be different work, but I felt like they're all connected, and we're also building on our previous work to really enable the AI agents, models, and benchmark. And the second thought is, like, I do think a lot of work are really collaboration and community. Like, we work on AI agent ecosystems with Yuri Lashwak here at Stanford Computer Science, and also Aviv Regev, my previous advisor, but who's now at Genentech. So I think on the model side, we work with Mengdi Wang, Russ Altman, a lot of the people in here in the community. And then with gene editing, we also get great benefits from Feng Zhang. And then security community, we got support from George Church, Feng Zhang, even Jennifer Down, a lot of people in the field. So I think the second one is really like, ideally we can all work together and pool the efforts, and that makes everyone's time amplifying, right? It's like 1 + 1 more than 2.
That's also the power of community.
Yeah. But I do think, like you said, maybe it's easier to do in science because everybody, is not always looking for a single person's credit. It's more like, if we can make things happen together, it's benefiting everyone. So I think it does help to work on AI for science.
Exactly. And I also feel that throughout our conversation, you give a lot of credit to your collaborators, like the fellow researchers who are researching the similar problem as you do. It is actually spirit of a scientific spirit. It's like share the credit. We are on this together to push the frontier for human, not for individual of us, and then make the collaboration easy and make each other like feel more empowered.
Yes.
The very last question I want to ask you is that what would be your advices for the younger generations who want to follow your path or take you as a role model to do the research, push the frontier, and empower other people and have the real industry impact? What would be your advice to them?
Thank you. Maybe I can share 2 quick thoughts that I think really helped me in some way, but sometimes it's really, I learned it from my own mistakes the hard way. Number one is, it's always okay, and sometimes maybe even really great, that you fail, but only if you fail fast. So I think this is really important. Like, failure is great, but most of the time it's great if you fail fast. So do not spend like say, a year doing something that you don't know if it's, something you believe in, you kind of wanted to iterate faster. And this is part of the reason I think we needed to have young people really embrace AI in science, because AI kind of accelerates things. And I think, so the first thing I really want to share is that I think failure is really good. You learn so much, but you wanted to be able to fail fast, like either through using AI, either through just do things harder, right? Like you said, working hard is not always useful, but you kind of want to at least work hard sometimes so that you can gain more from your work and experience. I think that's number one. And then second thing I want to share is, like you said, I think there's always the idea that, timing is important for doing everything. But to me, I think the key thing here is timing is also about doing things early. So my advice for a lot of my own students is that if you believe in something, there's kind of this, I have this sort of 3 minutes rule, right, in my lab, or like, if this thing takes you less than 3 minutes, and I think it's interesting, do it right now. Don't wait.
The power of now.
The power of now. So for example, if you think, oh, this is a cool person I just met in in a sort of scientific conference, maybe I should email this person. It takes less than 3 minutes to email someone.
Exactly.
Just do it right now.
Yeah.
Don't wait. And I think if you get to know someone early, you know some more people in the early stage of a career, it actually pays more dividend in the long run. So in some way, you want to act faster when you're young, and that gives you in some way more likelihood of getting a right timing. So
it's also like the maximize the curiosity.
It's almost like Buffett or Warren Buffett's point about if you have 5% cumulative return, over time you will be a billionaire or something, right? Anyway, so I think that's the two things I think really want to share is feel fast, and then really be willing to act now.
Right? Act now, exactly. Wow, what a beautiful advices. I think all our audiences will be benefit for me.
Thank you.
It's such a great pleasure, such an honor to have a conversation with you. So insightful. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing the community. Is there anything that the FounderCoHo community can help with you?
A ton, right? I love to meet with more people from the community. I wanted to learn from everyone, especially given that, I'm more from academic background. We're interested in, learning from, industry, startup leaders, people who have done startup. How do we?
We will also have you to join one of our events showing the community. Yes. We will leave you a comment in the video below so they can reach out. But I would love to have you join our event.
Learn from everyone who are doing cool things.
That'll be fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much. Looking forward to chat more.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching the full interview. If you got value from this conversation, please drop a comment, and subscribe to FounderCoHo. We've got more founder insights and deep dive interviews coming your way, so don't miss them. See you in the next one.